Welcome everybody, patch 25.23 just dropped and there's a bunch of changes for mid lane, including a new champion release, which we're going to talk about. But in this video, we're going to rank all the champions on strength from S to D dog shit tier. And we're going to start off with recapping on the last patch tier list, I think we did a pretty good job. There weren't too many mid lane changes. The main changes that actually happened were in the rune department, specifically the move speed rune. And I want to recap that change a little bit. How did you think the move speed rune landed? Have you been taking it? Have you not been taking it? What's your experience been?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't even noticed it, right? Like, if they didn't say it in the patch notes and no one told me about it, I wouldn't even know there was a change, right? So, yeah, for me, I didn't really notice it. I don't think I played against any champions that took it. I don't play champions that really enjoy taking it, right? Because I like having a strong lane. So, yeah, for me, it didn't really change that much. Same with the phase rush changes as well. It was kind of like a nothing patch, at least for me personally, from my experience.
Okay. I actually started taking them.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I actually started running race car Victor builds. Even celerity, move speed rune, very similar on Rise. And the truth is, I actually kind of started liking it. Yeah, it's not bad. So I don't think it's meta warping by any means or definition, but I definitely think it's a really viable option if you like the rune. Besides that, if we just recap, honestly, I think we've done a pretty decent job when it comes to ranking them. Were there any outliers or champs that like popped up heavily in your games?
No, not really. I mean, I saw basically everything in the S tier is what I saw pretty much every game on my main account, right? I mean, I was playing Aurora a lot. I played against Ori all the time. I played against Victor all the time. Syndra, like, very, very simple right now, right? Because there hasn't been that many sweeping changes. I think this patch is going to be a little bit bigger, but yeah, I mean, it's been pretty similar for the last few weeks, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, kind of
not
chilling.
Too many huge changes. I think the meta has been a little bit still in the mid department. And there's one more champ that I really want to highlight, guys, because there's so many people doubting us, saying Victor and S tier, disgusting. This is absolutely horrible. You guys are delusional. Well, I played about 20 to 30 Victor games over the past week and a half, I think, because I'm updating the Victor guide for the coaching program. Link in the description. But regardless, this champion is really fucking strong as long as you just play well.
Say anyone though, Tim. That's what they're gonna say.
It's true, and I understand that people would say like this champ can be weak because the moment you fall behind, the moment you do not play towards your identity of playing to the lane bully and getting ahead in the lane, you are completely useless. I totally agree. But if you have the tools for it, if you just get ahead and you translate your leads cleanly, this champion is an absolute machine. He's really, really, really good. But getting there is sometimes the tricky part. Now, we're going to start cooking, okay? We'll start with Zaahen because it's a new champion. Everyone's excited. Everyone loves Zaahen. Looks great. Dashes, CC, healing, revives, the classic, you know? What do you think of him? Do you think he can be a mid laner? Do you think he's going to be top lane jungle?
I'll be honest, the first comparison I think of is Ambessa, right? And so the reason why is that Ambessa, the reason why she's good and she can be played in mid, I've talked about this before, but she gets lethality in her kit. And so because you're playing her mid, you get easy access to laning against enemy mid laner, right? The best struggles against bruisers, yada, 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 right? And so Zaahen's similar. He actually gets armor pen in his kit as well, similar to Ambessa. So I think if you're going to play him mid, I don't know where he'll land, how he'll feel in mid, but if you are going to try him mid, at least for me, what I'm going to do is try some sort of lethality bruiser hybrid build, right? With like Eclipse, with like an Electrocute or PTA or something, and then go into lethality, use that percentage armor pen he's got in his kit, use the percentage AD scaling he's got in his kit, and we'll see what happens, right? Now, I don't know how his lane will feel compared to like an Ambessa or Yone, right? I've got absolutely no idea, so I can't comment on that. I'm still not even 100% sure on the intricacies of his kit. But keep an eye out, because I think if he is going to be good, he'll be similar to like an Ambessa mid or something along the lines of that. That's my initial thoughts and feelings on Zaahen.
Yeah, so I've seen his kit. I think his kit can function on mid. The only thing that I am fearing is that his numbers are low in the early game, and that it might be a little bit too low and too hard for him to get in range. I think that's really going to be the game change. Like, what are his numbers actually looking like? Because if he can get through the early lane and get in a position where he can start dashing around and stuff like that, he can just be an Ambessa 2.0. But if his early lane is too weak, because I know he has some like percentage scaling or with his AD, I think that it's then most likely he won't be seen in mid lane.
Right.
Regardless, right? It's impossible for us to rank him right now, so we're going to put him a little bit on the bench here, and we might reintroduce him next patch again. So, it's time. It's that time of the week again. It's the Hwei discussion time.
Oh, God. Every other week, this is my worst nightmare. This is a Hwei discussion.
Yeah, so, look, usually you do the talking about Hwei, right? Let's.
Yeah.
I want to start off with
You
this
go
one
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead because I'm not the biggest Hwei player. I can play Hwei really well. Like, over my league career, I put about 300 games on him, I think. So I've got some experience. Now, I don't think Hwei was any type of weak right now. Or like too strong. I don't think it was too strong.
Yeah.
I picked my Victor into it. I picked my shit into it. And everyone was just doing all the way fine. But this champion is getting nerfed, even though that he's not particularly strong. Why? I don't understand it. Okay, do you understand it?
So it's weird because when I read, because I like to sometimes read what they say about why they change a champion. They're talking about Hwei mid's wave clear, when I feel like that's like not even a problem. I feel like it's Hwei bot. That when I look at this, I think they're nerfing trying to target Hwei bot, because I think Hwei bot is really, when I get filled, I play Hwei bot. The QE spam is really disgusting on bot because of the way the lane play, like the spacing of the lane is really easy to go QE, EE. The enemy ADC is usually shorter range than you. So I thought that's what the nerf was, and it just happens to hit mid. But like, one of the strengths of Hwei is his wave clear, right? It's like imagine they did a nerf on Cinder. It's like, we don't like how hard she scales because of her passive. Let's reduce the numbers. It's like, isn't that like the design of her kit? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really understand why they would nerf his wave clear. Like, I get it; it might be frustrating to play against, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's particularly strong either. I'm way more happy playing Ahri or Victor. I don't play Syndra. I'm sure you can comment better, but I'm way more happy playing Ahri and Victor than Hwei right now, right? I barely play Hwei unless it's bot lane. Even Mell, honestly, we'll talk about Mell, but even Mell, I think I'd be more happy to play right now. So I honestly got no idea why they would nerf his QE. It seems like a rough change.
Yeah, look at these total damage changes.
It's disgusting.
Massive.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's massive. And yes, a little bit of AP, but it's 700 AP. You're not going to reach that as Hwei. You don't have an insanely high AP number.
Yeah, 700 AP. That's literally at the end of the game if you have a full AP build.
Yeah, with 25 Magi stacks.
Yeah,
so you're not getting there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a massive nerf, and we had Hwei in the initially in the
like all the mages were similar. Control mages.
No, we had him in S tier. He was actually pretty decent. But I think this is a hit. This is
terrible.
most used ability.
Yeah.
Right? This must be the decrease to A tier.
Yeah.
If it's even A, it might even be
lower. Yeah, I think it might be B tier. Dude, that is such a disgusting nerf.
It's big, huh?
That's like his entire identity is you make it not possible to interact, and you get first move on every play. That's how you play him in mid, because after like level 7 or 8, you don't win trades against most champions because it's so easy for them to dodge your skill shots, right? So the way you win lanes is you don't interact. You push the wave and then you go like QW from fog on bot or something. It's like nerfing that aspect is just, I don't know. I don't like it at all. I don't like that change.
No, I mean, yeah. And if we're really talking wave clear problems, well, I just made a Ziggs guide. Ziggs clears the wave just as fast, if not faster, from a longer distance while being safer.
Yeah.
Right. So
and scales better. Yeah.
I don't understand, why hit him like this. So rip the Hwei mates again.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing? They're nerfing Hwei right now, and they're then introducing a new winter Hwei skin or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. The second one, he's already got a Winter Blast one.
Oh, he's already going. Oh, all right. Okay. No Winter Wet then. Unlucky. That would have been some deceptive marketing. It probably would work too, actually. All right, Hwei is settled. Now, next up we got Ahri, and we already thought that Ahri was pretty decent, right? Ahri was pretty decent, and I've played some Ahri. I think Ahri is actually a good champion. I can play her. You can play offense as defense. You can still absolutely do your job. Your ults, all-in skirmishing has been quite decent recently. And now they're slightly increasing the damage on her W. Now, let's unpack this one, right? Because her W is a very interesting ability, which changes with the ranks as well. Because in a lot of higher elos, a lot of Ahris are actually not maxing W second. But in a lot of lower elos, a lot of people are maxing W second because it's just a simple ability. And the cooldown decrease really helps with wave clear as well. Now, I personally think that for the average Ahri player, this is actually a massive, massive buff. because it's just a nice bit of extra damage. And with AP scalings that are plus 8%, it's really decent. It helps with your wave clear, which is also really nice. Of course, it's single hit damage, but it helps with cannons. It helps with getting out those pesky minions. And I personally think that this is a great change. Also slightly help with some of the trading patterns in the lane. Of course, it's not the massive amount of damage, but every single bit of damage on this champion helps. So I think it's a pretty good change, and I don't think the champ was weak by any means. So I like the buff. What do you think?
I'm scared of this change. Like I'm excited for it, but I'm scared of this because,
Okay.
and the reason why I say that is that Ahri is what I call a threshold champion. Okay, so because her kit is so hard to play against when she out damages you, it's very dangerous when she gets damage buffs, right? Like I want you to imagine like a 10-0 Ahri. It's like impossible. I feel like it's impossible to do anything against a 10-0 Ahri, right? Because you can't kill her. She heals infinitely. She one shots you, right? And so when you get a buff for a damage like that, you're making it easier and easier and easier for her to hit that threshold where it becomes very toxic to play against. Where you're like at 70% HP, and it's like you're playing against a Fizz that's ranged, right? It's like she can just jump on you, and then all of her skill shots become undodgeable because she's on top of you. She lands W. That's not even a skill shot. It's all guaranteed damage, and then she stat checks you, right? And then she heals and she resets. So getting a little bit more damage like that just for free for nothing, I'm scared. I'm scared of that, right? I think that's actually going to propel her up a lot because it will make matchups like Syndra maybe a little bit more doable, right? Maybe you hit level 7, you get one good chunk, or jungler chunks the Syndra by like 20% or 30% HP. Now all of a sudden Syndra's literally an all in range at any point, right? Because you're doing extra 40 damage, right, or something like that. That's a big deal, right? That gives you lane control. You get first move now. That's just awesome. Right. So I'm excited for this change. I think this is actually going to make Ahri a lot better, even though it doesn't seem like it. Personally, I always max W, so I never really did E. So that helps me as well. And yeah, I like this change a lot. I think it's going to make her a lot better.
Yeah, love it. So to be realistic, that we had her in A. I don't think she's gonna become.
She's not S plus though. No, but she's definitely S now.
Yeah, I think she's S, and honestly, might be worth for me re-adding her to my pool. I've had some nice success on this champ already, so maybe I need to look a little bit deeper into her. Definitely decent champ.
Yep.
Let's do Mell first. Okay, we're in the mage category right here, and Mell is undergoing some big changes. So I'll walk through the changes, and then I want to hear your opinion on what this exactly is going to do for this champ. So they're nerfing her root duration, which was honestly quite long. And the root duration is now from 2.25 seconds on max rank to 1.6 seconds. Of course, the idea behind this is, of course, to stop incentivizing Emax first, which was quite annoying. And they're now increasing the damage on her passive by insane amounts of base damage, base scaling with level, and even more AP scaling. Wasn't this passive already really good?
This is getting absolutely ridiculous. Like after the first buff, I remember after the first buff, I kept saying every patch, like I think Mell's good. I don't mind playing her. I like her. And I've been playing her, man. And I've been doing well on my main account, my 1K LP account. I've been having success with her, right? You play her in a good matchup. You play against a Vex. You play against a Hwei. You play against, something that you can survive lane. You play against a Sejuani or Maokai. Dude, you are doing so much. This champ already does actually so much damage. And that's before these buffs. This is like insanely ridiculous damage buffs. Like, this is insane buffs, man. Like I think she's going to be ridiculous. Like, and the reason why is that yes, the root duration is a hit. That's a hit to the E nerf, but who cares, right? I'm never playing Mell in a way where it's like, oh man, I want to like use my E as like a more Q, right? Where I'm like trying to purposely
like a Syndra E. CDR max just
like that's not
it's too slow,
exactly. It's too slow. So I never played it like that. Right? It's just it was like having a high root duration is just a bonus. And that damage on the pass, that is gonna be crazy. Like she's gonna be one-shotting people. You go like Shadow Flame, Blackfire Torch, Sorks, you could literally like I have clips on my stream where even right now, from Fog of War at E, auto Q, auto R, Akaiza, from Fog of War, she died from full health. And that's without these buffs. So this is going to make her really, really, really good. Now, she does still have her weaknesses, like, you play against Chance where her W's are very good. She's going to struggle, right? You play against Orianna lane, you are going to have a hard time, no matter what, right? You're still going to have a hard time. Yeah. So it's not like you could just play her every game, but I really think she's getting to the point where you play her in a good game, and it's going to be, like, impossible to breathe against her, honestly. So I think that makes her really good. I'm very excited for these changes. And I was already advocating for her before these changes.
Yeah, so I'm actually look. Some people may not like Mell, but I kind of like Mell. In not necessarily that I've played her. I've played max one Mell game in my life. By the way, I've never lost out one. But the design of the champion and the way that her champ functions, she's quite polarizing. She has a unique kit
Yeah.
and a really unique identity in the way that she approaches drafts. And I think champs like those, they should be cherished. And the way that they're currently forming this champion, while they're in the sense that they're buffing up these passive outtakes, I think this gives her a little bit of a push into this unique niche where she's kind of this mage that is quite good at medium range, where she can weave in some auto attacks.
Yeah.
But you play against the likes of Orianna, which is good luck getting an auto attack into Orianna, by the way. You're not going to get it. It's just still hard. You still have the counters, but the champ now has a better niche, and I like that. I like that. But yeah, for average solo queue or for lower elo solo queue, this is
people are not gonna like this. Yeah, people are gonna hate it. Yeah.
So now the judgment, AJ. We had her in the previous patch. Fuck, I lost the. We had her in A tier. What do you think? Is this now for the first time ever we're gonna see Mell in S? Yeah,
I think so. I think so. I already remember we put her in A because I liked her in S, but you were like, I think she's B, right? So we put her in A before, right?
Okay.
And so now after these changes, I think we're bumping up the average, right? I probably think she's like extremely, extremely broken, and you're probably thinking, yeah, she's gonna be quite good now. So I think that average is gonna put her even higher. Yeah, like S.
Yeah. Let's put her in for the victor right now. Let's recalibrate again next T list. So there is some more interesting news on the horizon because they have been like perma buffing Fizz like every single patch.
Literally, we talk about Fizz every patch because he gets buffed every patch. What is going on?
And there's some times where I see now players in my coaching program, they play versus Fizz, and I can tell them what they should do, but the barrier of defeating this champion is becoming higher and higher and higher, and you're not really allowed to make any mistakes into this champ anymore. So I still think this champ has his weaknesses in higher elos, but for lower elos, how can I expect for someone to perfectly tether Fizz and understand that you can't out-attack him, or he's going to E on your face?
Yeah.
Or manage to wave perfectly that Fizz can't get these windows, The level that you need to play to win against this champ is getting quite high.
Yeah.
So what are they exactly changing? They're changing his base armor by upping it by 4 to make him more jungle reliant. And they're reducing a bit of his ult cooldown, which is, of course, it's a pretty big deal, his ult cooldown. But 4 base armor is also a big deal. Especially if you need to understand what Fizz's passive actually does, which is a direct damage reduction passive. It's a flat damage reduction passive.
Yeah.
If you combine it with more resistances, aka taking less damage, while you're already taking less damage, it's a pretty nice combination together.
Yeah, 100%.
So what do you see when you see these Fizz changes? What does this strike you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, on a champion like Fizz, getting early game power is always really dangerous, right? Because Fizz's struggle is snowballing and hoping the enemy makes a blunder. But what I think this will give him is a lot of stability, right? Because now you just have more, you have more HP. You're more durable, right? You have way more sustain. You could stay in the lane for a little bit longer. You can look for more all-in windows, right? And honestly, yeah, if we look at the win rate, it's already solid, right? Like 50%, 53% when you play against somebody that when you're really good at Fizz, you have high mastery in Fizz. So I think these are just straight up buffs. Because what I'll also say with these buffs is, even though there are jungle buffs, a mid laner that can side lane, that can kill jungle camps, is a massive buff to mid lane as well. So getting jungle monster killing buffs actually buffs mid like crazy too. Because what will happen is that you get one in the side lane, you get pushed against your Syndra or whatever, and then you take the enemy's Gromp or something, or take their Krugs, right? You're accelerating yourself even more, you're stat checking even more. So yeah, this is good.
It's actually huge, especially on Fizz.
Buffs. Yeah,
because Fizz was struggling with mana, but he was struggling with mana when taking these jungle camps.
Yeah.
So if you can just now literally stand there, right click with your W,
auto W, yeah,
right, and not take damage in return, this champion, it's getting pretty legit. And I think this Archum, the water cooldown increase, is completely negligible,
completely worthless
with what we find here.
Especially because you can go ulti hunter usually and stuff like that to reduce the cooldown. You get a lot of haste in your build, so it's like, who cares about that?
How stupid is this champ going to be if it's allowed to play jungle, by the way?
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking miserable to play against as well.
But you're gonna get
Yeah.
ulted over the wall while
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the tower
Yeah.
from the raptor pit.
Yeah.
And then he
I'm not
dives
looking
with
forward to
E.
that. He's gonna get, he's gonna be so good at tower diving. It's gonna be like Naafiri when she became a jungler.
Yeah,
You're gonna see
I
pro
don't
players
like
running
him, by
around
the
at level
way.
3 diving people with
Yeah,
E.
I really don't like that we put those champs in jungle.
Yeah,
Like,
I
why
don't
would we
think
do
that.
that? Why would we put Talon in jungle? Like, I've had the least fun against Talon my entire last year I've ever had against this champion, because he just can't be punished and he runs around the map, kills everybody because his tempo is completely insane.
Yeah.
You can't side lane versus that champ. Like, you can't remotely step up in the side if he gets anywhere fed. Like, oh my god, man, it's so frustrating to verse these assassin junglers. Kiana as well. I fucking hated her in the jungle.
Yeah, me too.
Holy moly. But enough, right? Regardless, where is Fizz going to go? I think Fizz, we had him in C tier. I think it's finally time to lift him out
I
of the trenches here.
Yep.
Now, is this good enough to put him in A tier here? That's the question.
He might.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at all the champs below B. I feel like he kind of destroys all
Yeah.
these champs now with these
I think
changes.
he's gonna win.
Yeah. I think A. Like, I think once you start getting into the Silases and, like, you start playing against, like, the Auroras and, some of these other stronger laning champs, Gallios, now you're starting to get still a little bit of problems. But anything below that on this list, I think that's totally fine into. Pretty happy
Yeah.
against.
By the way, guys, if you want to know the counter to Fizz, the counter to Fizz, bone plating plus unflinching. Okay?
Yep.
Unflinching is really good versus Fizz because Fizz, his E slows, his ult slows, and it's been multiple times where you get those 10 armor and MR, and he just can't deal any damage to you, and he forgets that the kill ranges are out of range, and you live, and then this champ is blown his sniper shot, doesn't do anything anymore. It's all a champion. Okay, next up, we have some small changes to Swain. Now, Swain has never been the best champ, but it's been a unique one. It's a really good C tier champ. If you can find the right Swain game, he does a lot of work. What they're changing about him is they're increasing his E damage by 10 flat, and they're lowering his mana cost on E by 10 flat. Now, honestly, deserved. I think it's fine. I don't see any problems with this change. I think that Swain can use a little bit of help, and I don't think that this is going to break him. I don't think this is going to change him.
Doesn't change anything.
Just
a little bit extra damage. Yeah, that's fine. I think you're happy with that if you're Swain main. Otherwise, I think he still does the same. He has the same identity still. He has the same weaknesses, same strength still. So I think he's fine. Nice counter per champ.
So, out of curiosity, right? Have you seen any of the Naafiri mid?
No, literally zero. I've seen it literally zero times. Not seen it once.
Because players in a coaching program are starting to struggle versus it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's figure out why that's exactly the case. Because what Naafiri does is he kind of plays offense as defense, but then he runs longsword refill, he pushes you in, and it's very oppressive for a lot of people to play versus this champ. How would you approach this? Why do you think people in high elo don't really play it, while people in low elo just struggle so hard for this champion?
I think people really struggle against the spacing of Naafiri, right? Ever since they made her E, like they swapped her W and R around, people don't underestimate the E range. That's what I've noticed a lot in the coaching sessions. Like the fairies are getting on top of them with E, and they get hail of blades, and they triple audio with hail blades, with the dogs all hitting you faster as well. That's what I've noticed, and that's what I've seen when I'm coaching the other way around, where it's the Naafiri is the one I'm coaching. They're like getting kills on repeat because they're E on top of somebody with hail blades, and then they're like hitting a double Q and one-shotting them, right? So I think what it is that people are really struggling. It's like kind of playing as Fizz a little bit, right? They're struggling against the E range, and the Fairy, it's like deceptively long, the range of her E. It's and I think that is probably the specific thing is the E range, and also making sure you dodge the second Q. These things are kind of intuitive for higher elo players, but if you're a little bit lower elo, sometimes you can struggle to really be parsing that and thinking heavily about that and thinking about spacing it. So in my opinion, that's the reason why they struggle with it.
Because Naafiri also gets bonus move speed with her W for the 5 seconds. So from a long distance, she will just run at you. She will close the gap. And then with her long range E, a lot of people disrespect the range. Another thing that I see that people don't do versus this champ is that when Naafiri just starts queuing the minions, people freeze. They don't know what to do.
They don't punish. Right.
Exactly. And they don't understand how to punish. But the simple solution is the exact same thing you should do versus Yasuo. You leave 1 minion outside of your turn range. Just make sure that the wave doesn't crash. Just 1 minion. Say good luck to Naafiri crashing the next wave. Because the half of the wave is under your tower. So he needs to step up so deep, it's really hard for him to constantly do that. So proper wave management will get you through the lane, but it's pretty challenging to get in that position. You need to have quite a bit of game understanding to get there. Okay, that's our Naafiri rant here. Next up, final buffs that we got on Tristana. Small bit of attack speed growth, 0.4 per level. Now, it's about 4 AD.
Yeah, very little. 4 to 5, yeah.
Not too much. We had her in B tier here. I've not seen any Trist myself. What do you think?
I think she's okay. I played her a little bit. She didn't feel that amazing, to be honest with you. She just felt whatever, right? All the nerfs to her mana, her sustain, her armor. And she just felt like, like if you're really damn good at Trist, like it's fine, and you still play like ADC, which is fine. And getting AD on a crit attack speed scaling champion with high AD ratios, that is dangerous. But I don't think she's too oppressive right now at all, right? I think she has a lot of weaknesses. I don't think that changes her. I think she's still B. Like she's solid, right? I think she's solid. Not that popular. And if you like her, that's fine. I think she's playable, but not too much change besides that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Now, next up, we have some Vladimir changes and also some questions from the viewers. So first things first, we're gonna talk about why was Vlad so low on the list to begin with, because that was the question. And then we're going to talk about if the changes affect anything, because he's actually getting nerfed. But this is not a mid lane centric nerf, it's a top lane centric nerf. Hence is why the base armor goes down. But why was Vlad so low, AJ?
Okay.
Walk me through.
Yeah, so again, just to contextualize you guys, C tier doesn't necessarily mean they're objectively like shit champions. But what it means is that they're niche. They fulfill a certain role, and you can't play them every game. That's what a C tier champ is, right? Or you're going to struggle to play them every game. And so the reason why Vlad, in my opinion, really encapsulates this, because Vlad, when you get to play your own game as Vlad, where you get to play the War of Attrition, you get to sit in the side for 12 minutes, 13 minutes, until minute 20. You walk up to the Otacon team fight with 2 items with your Cosmic Drive and like your Crit Bloom or whatever second item you build. You just wipe them. It's like, damn, this champ feels like the best champ in the game, right? But then you get in a situation where you play against Orianna, you play against an Aurora, you play against a Victor, right? And you just can't breathe in lane, right? You're just getting pushed in on a turret. This champ requires Ghost, so you have no TP, so you can't be first at any plays. Their mid laner runs over the game. Your mid game becomes really awkward because, again, you can't run TP on Vlad, and then you're late to every single play. And it's just a complete mess to play the champion, right? And so Vlad is really one of those champs where it's just, okay, you get a good game for him, you're rock and rolling, you don't get a good game, and it just feels awful. And I think when people play against Vlad, they really hold on to the moments where it's like, man, Vlad is really fucking bullshit to play against, right? Like he just dove me under turret at level 7, I'm just dead, or he out-sustained me for like 6 minutes, I didn't find a good weak recall window, I'm just fucked, right? So I think in that regard, he's really, really strong, but then he has other weaknesses, right? No wave clear, yada, yada, yada. So in my opinion, that's why he's C. He's good in the right game when you can do your job. If you can't,
Yeah, I agree. And everyone thinks of Vlad, of course, like you said, it's those really annoying moments or those team fights where you just literally 1v5s.
And it's like, what the fuck is this champ? Yeah.
Exactly. But the truth is, that's not every game. Otherwise, everyone would play the champ.
Yes, exactly.
Now, when it comes to the nerfs, right? These nerfs are mainly top lane centric. On mid lane, these nerfs are minimal, even though that they matter on a champion like Vladimir. This is a hit at his sustain as well. So they definitely hit him quite hard here. I don't think it's going to change anything. He's still going to be strong in the games that he's strong in.
Yes.
He's still going to be weak in the games that he's weak in, just a little bit. Correct. Now, Malzahar. A lot of people are wondering, why is Malzahar in C tier? What is going on? In my games, Malzahar is completely destroying me, taking over the map, and I don't even know what's happening, and we're just losing the game. I agree. You're not wrong. Let's just say with that. You're absolutely right. But the reason Malzahar is in C tier is because at the higher ranks, right? Keep in mind, this is a higher Edo tier list. He is just not that good. Because it's a minigame champion. And if you beat the minigame, if you know what to do into the minigame, you are going to win, and this champion is going to be sitting on his tower, very useless. If you lose the minigame, this champ is going to trample you. Annihilation. No mercy. because he's going to push you in. You're constantly responding. You get choked out, and you lose. That's what the champ does.
Yep.
And he's really good at doing it. And I love the champ for that. It's a perfect champion, in my opinion, in its design. Really clear identity, really clear strengths, really clear weaknesses. In the lower elos, this champion, like we discussed in a previous lower elo tier list, right? This champion is an absolute demon. It's the best champion in the game. But for the higher elos, guys, absolutely not C tier. Anything you want to add to Malz?
I mean, you encapsulated it perfectly. I mean, I would just compare that to Vlad again, right? If you play against Malz and you're not playing against it, you only feel the oppressiveness that he's doing. You don't feel his weaknesses, right? But that goes for every champ. But like especially with something like Malz is really polarizing in terms of strengths and weaknesses. Like think about it, he has no mobility. His self peel is complete dog shit, right? Right, like his R is like he self stuns himself for like literally 2 seconds as well, right? His damage is very conditional in short range, right? He just has so many weaknesses. Just people get really hung up on like, okay, that level 7 wave clear breakpoint. I don't know what to do. He's pushing me in, and then like you said, you get choked out. But 90% of the time, especially in higher elo specifically, he's just like fucked. He can't do anything. And team fight, he just gets one shot. He can't side lane at all. Team fighting is awkward with his short range. He can only isolate one target. And it's just so awkward to play him at the higher elos.
Absolutely. And that's why he's C tier, guys. Just a really classical C tier champ.
Yep.
Now, we had some questions about Anivia. Some people are thinking that Anivia is just taking over the game right now. Anivia definitely wasn't bad. We had her in B tier previously. Now, my question to you is, AJ, how often have you played in Anivia versus Anivia these past 2 weeks?
I played against Anivia one time in the last 3 months. One time.
Oh, well, last 3 months even.
Yes. I've only played against this champion one time.
Okay. All right. Me too, actually. Last 3 months, probably one time. Last 2 weeks, 0 Anivia games.
Yep, me too.
That first. Now, does that mean that this champion is bad? Not at all. She's quite niche. She's quite unique. Mm-hmm. This champion is really clunky. It's not an easy champ to maneuver yourself through. You gotta get a little bit of experience. The Q is hard to use. The W has some niche intricacies. And this champion, therefore, is, it's not a friendly champ to just play. You gotta like play her a little bit, and then it's gonna work. And if you do that, you will have absolute success. If you look at the best Anivia in the West, which is Berkan, of course, he is really, really, really good at this champion. He will reach Challenger easily, consistently, year in, especially with the current state of this champ. It's a solid champion for sure. But on average, right, she also still has counters in the first 6 levels. She is going to get pushed in. She is not strong. She loses to most of the top tier champs. You play Ryze into Anivia, which is a counter pick, right? That's what Caps did in Worlds. Yes, stylistically, Ryze loses in Anivia when front-to-back team fights, and Ryze got to run into her. But trust me, in solo queue, Ryze is just going to push Anivia in, because I did it myself. You're going to just run away from the ult. You're just going to fucking make man
sideliners over and over again. Yeah.
So, what do you think of Anivia? Just what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think you encapsulated it really, really well, right? Like, she has some solid things, a little bit niche, not very, very popular. And I think the biggest weakness is, again, what we've been saying this entire year is the flexibility and the ability to push and move and be at plays, right? Yes, Anivia is a good push, but you can't really move and be at plays. It's very awkward for her, right?
She's slow.
You want to she's slow. She's very clunky and slow. And I think for me, that's like the biggest reason why she's not higher up. It's like, a champ like, let's take Ahri, for example. Ahri has kind of similar leaning-ish to Anivia in a way, right? Like you get, you poke, you hit your level 7, and then you're really, really strong. You're spamming your Qs, you're getting good chunks, and you're getting pushed. But Ahri has way more adaptability and flexibility in fights, right? It doesn't feel as clunky. So I think Anivia's clunk in the first 15 minutes is what really deters me personally from putting her higher than B, as well as adding up, as well as what you said. Too. Yeah. So it's like that full kind of suite of things is why I think she's solid, but a little slow, in my opinion.
She can work if the entire team comp around it enables her, and the enemy team comp especially. But I've played Anivia quite a bit myself a few years ago. This champ is horror in the early game skirmishes. Like pre-6 skirmishes, you can't really fight because your Q is the most easily flashable ability in the game. Like her ability to do damage is non-existent in the early game. Skirmishes are very, very bad for her. We've not really touched any of the S plus or S tier champs all that much. Like there's just a clear hierarchy on the mid lane right now. I think that the champs that are good, they're just still just insanely, insanely good. I would love some shake-up, maybe some new runes in the next season, or some big changes that's gonna like absolutely kill the current meta and just shake it up. I don't really care if Rise is there or not. No, I just want to see a different list in the S plus tier. I want to see different stuff. But
Agreed.
We're gonna now finish it off with Pantheon. Why is Pantheon on the list? And why is the other champions that we mentioned, the other AD mids, or like the Kill or something like that, or the Viego, why are they not on the list, but Pantheon is? Have you seen any Pantheon on mid?
No. I mean, to be honest, I will admit that I think he is definitely a little niche for sure, right? I would say he's more close to those Riven champs than he is to the other mid laners on this list. But he does have good traits that like makes him playable in mid, right? For sure, right? Like because of the R, for example, like you can play like a Twisted Fate, you can get push and move, right? He's a nice counter pick against melee champions, right? Like he can do well against a lot of these other melee champions in mid. So he's just a nice niche counter pick. Now I can understand if somebody was like, "Hey, Riven's not on here, Zach's not on here, Pantheon should be removed." I understand that. But again, I do think because of that global ult, and I feel like I don't know how to articulate it well. He just feels more reliable than these champs, right? Like he has a little bit. He has like a decent mid game scaling. He's got a lot more clear reference points, in my opinion, and it just feels like a lot easier to pilot this champ in mid. I don't really have a good articulation for it, but that's just the vibe I get when I think about Pantheon.
There's a little bit more options. If you look at Riven,
right,
she got one on mid lane. She has one option: kill or be killed. Kill or be pushed in. Pantheon can Q from a distance. Pantheon can ult two sides. Right, he has a little bit more flexibility in that sense. And I used to actually be quite a big Pantheon mid player and had a lot of success with it, especially in like counter picks. Right, this is just the definition of a C tier champ. This champion will do monstrous things in the right positions, but he put him up against a Syndra or Talia, and good luck. And I just want to show it to you guys, because let's just take a look at the Lolalytics page right here. And we go to Pantheon mid, and we're going to see that his Pantheon mid win rate is quite high. Even if you go to Master Plus, his mid win rate is quite high. But then when you look at the matchup distribution, Yasuo gets completely destroyed. You see? Then you put him against Ahri, Awkward, all these melee champs. Akshan, Awkward, Syndra, what is this? So I know the game quality the game count's not that high, but it's a good indicator of when people are picking this champion in high elo games, indicating when he's good and when he's less good in general. So that's why I think there's arguments you want to remove him, but C tier looks decent in my opinion. Now, we've finished all the necessary changes. Are there any champs that stand out to you that you want to revisit that are like, let's discuss this one here?
No, there's none that I want to discuss specifically, but just keep an eye out, right? Keep an eye out for Ahri and Mell. Those are the two I'm a little worried about in terms of their strength. I have a feeling if these champions, with their base damage increases, they might just skyrocket in terms of pick rate, win rate. How does it feel to play? So just keep an eye out for these two. Those are on my personal watch list. I'll be playing a lot of them in the upcoming 2 weeks.
Awesome. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for today's tier list. Once again, if you guys have any questions for the next tier list, chuck them in the comments. We love to discuss the questions and get a bit of community engagement here. So thank you all for watching. See you guys in 2 weeks for, I think, the final patch of the year.
Of the year, yeah.
Probably, hopefully. That's going to be really, really exciting. So I'll see you guys around. Peace out.